The Employee Retention Credit from the IRS is the last major COVID relief program. Claim up to $26,000 for each employee you had on payroll. This is Marty Stewart with Disaster Loan Advisors. The IRS tax refund is newfound money for your business. Let us help you navigate the ERC program with flexible options and working together. You can relax and have peace of mind that you're in good hands. Stay safe, stay compliant, and keep more of your refund. Take the next step and schedule a free ERC consultation call with us today.
Employee Retention Credit Explained, an in-depth comparison of ERC 2020 and 2021. The Employee Retention Credit, a significant tax relief measure for businesses, has seen considerable changes from 2020 to 2021. Understanding these changes is crucial for businesses to optimize their tax credits for payroll costs and benefits. This discussion will offer a comprehensive comparison of the ERC under the Internal Revenue Code for both years, simplifying the complexities of these regulations for businesses. Employee Retention Credit. The Employee Retention Credit is a refundable tax credit aimed at motivating businesses to keep employees on board during economic downturns. First introduced in 2020 under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act, the ERC has since been altered and extended through the Taxpayer Certainty and Disaster Tax Relief Act of 2020 and the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Eligibility criteria for ERC. To be eligible for the ERC, employers must conduct a trade or business during the calendar year and have their operations fully or partially suspended due to a COVID-19 related government order or experience a significant decline in gross receipts. Notably, the criteria for a significant decline in gross receipts differ between 2020 and 2021. In 2020, a business had to demonstrate over a 50% decline in a calendar quarter compared to the same quarter in 2019. However, in 2021, the requirement softened to a 20% decline in gross receipts for any given quarter when compared to the same quarter in 2019. 2020 versus 2021 major differences. The 2020 and 2021 versions of the ERC have several key differences. Credit cap. The 2020 ERC offered a maximum credit amount of $5,000 per employee, while the 2021 version increased this cap to $7,000 per employee per quarter, potentially totaling up to $28,000 per employee for the year. Credit percentage. In 2020, the ERC covered 50% of qualifying wages up to $10,000. However, in 2021, this coverage increased to 70% of qualifying wages, again up to $10,000 per quarter. Gross receipts decline. To be eligible for the 2020 ERC, businesses needed to show a greater than 50% decline in gross receipts. This threshold was lowered to a greater than 20% decline for the 2021 ERC. Employee count. The 2020 ERC applied to businesses with 100 or fewer full-time employees. In 2021, the employee count threshold was raised to include businesses with 500 or fewer full-time employees. Calculating employee retention credit. Calculating the Employee Retention Credit involves several steps. Determine eligibility. First, confirm that your business meets the ERC eligibility requirements. This includes experiencing a full or partial suspension of operations or a significant decline in gross receipts due to COVID-19. Identify qualifying wages. These include salaries, hourly wages, commissions, and other compensation, as well as the cost of providing health benefits. For 2020, businesses with 100 or fewer full-time employees can count all employee wages. For 2021, businesses with 500 or fewer full-time employees can do the same. Apply credit percentage. Apply a 50% credit rate to qualifying wages up to $10,000 per employee for 2020. In 2021, the credit rate increases to 70% and applies to qualifying wages up to $10,000 per employee per quarter. Calculate the total credit. Lastly, calculate your total credit by multiplying the credit percentage by the qualifying wages, keeping in mind the applicable credit cap for each employee. Claiming Employee Retention Credit. To claim the Employee Retention Credit, employers must report their total qualified wages and related credits on their federal employment tax return, usually via Form 941, the employer's quarterly federal tax return. Employers can also leverage the credit by reducing their federal employment tax deposits or incorporating it into their advance payments. If the expected credit surpasses the federal employment tax deposits available, eligible employers can request an advance payment from the IRS using Form 720, specifically for advance payment of employer credits due to COVID-19. Impact on PPP Loans and ERC. The original guidelines stated that businesses with a Paycheck Protection Program loan couldn't claim the Employee Retention Credit. This changed with the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021, which allowed eligible businesses with PPP loans to also claim the ERC. However, it's crucial to remember that the same wages cannot be used for both PPP loan forgiveness and the ERC. Conclusion and summary for the Comprehensive Guide to Employee Retention Credit, 2020 versus 2021 comparison. Understanding the Employee Retention Credit for 2020 and 2021 is critical for businesses aiming to maximize their tax benefits during these economically challenging times. This guide has clarified the key aspects of ERC, including eligibility criteria, such as operating during a certain period and experiencing a full or partial suspension of operations due to COVID-19 or a significant decline in gross receipts. It also highlighted the significant differences between the 2020 and 2021 versions of the ERC, like credit cap, credit percentage, and the threshold for gross receipts decline. In addition to the eligibility and differences, we've broken down the calculation and claiming process of the ERC on federal employment tax returns. Furthermore, we've highlighted the updated regulations concerning businesses that receive PPP loans. With this comprehensive understanding, businesses can confidently navigate the complexities of the ERC, ultimately improving their financial stability in these uncertain times. Disaster loan advisors can assist your business with the complex and confusing employee retention credit and employee retention tax credit programs without you having to pay an excessive percentage of your hard-earned ERC refund. Schedule your free employee retention credit consultation to see what amount of employee retention tax credit your company qualifies for.
As you can see, navigating the Employee Retention Credit Program is very complex and confusing to try to figure it out on your own. Even on the IRS ERC FAQ pages, it says this page is not current. There have been several years of updates and changes to this IRS tax credit already, including 4 congressional acts and 5 updated guidances from the IRS, totaling over 3,900 pages. Who has time to sift through all that information, let alone decipher some of the confusing language and rulings? In order to stay compliant with current IRS ERC rules and regulations, expert specialized help is highly recommended. Even if your business received an SBA PPP loan, you are still eligible for the ERC credit. If you think you may not qualify, it's worth a conversation to see if your business does. Let us assist you with a complete employee retention credit process, or if you might be stuck on filling out the IRS 941X forms correctly on your own. We are here to help. Stay safe, stay compliant, keep more of your refund. Email us at support@disasterloanadvisors.com or call us toll-free at 877-463-9777 extension 3. Or visit us on the web at www.disasterloanadvisors.com/ERC for complete details on the Employee Retention Credit Program for your business.